Hello everybody, it's me, Lindsay Rogers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today let's talk about something that happened yesterday. Um Yesterday I had spent time with family, and outside the township at a restaurant. And what I mean by is, usually when I say I spend time with family, usually it means my mother, my brother, and I. Not yesterday at evening. No, yesterday evening we had more of the family. In other words, on my mother's side. Because if it was on my father's side, then something went wrong with my mother there, and she has gone a little bit too far, and she didn't. It was that, you see, my mother had, we had family came in town. And the reason why is because there was something going on. I can't be I can't tell the whole entire thing because of the situation is I'm kind of fearing that I could get in trouble. Well, something bad would happen then to my cousin, because this is what it was about. And on top of that, I mean, I could get in trouble. Just saying. So the situation is my family, my aunt and my uncle and my two cousins, the twins, as they are like to be known, are in town, and they went to see they were in town because they were, I should say in town, they were in state because they were going to be heading towards the shore. They already are right now, but the reason why is because there's a graduation. I can't not be more specific, okay? So anyway, so we saw them, the four of them, yesterday evening, and we had dinner together. Now, before that happens, I gotta tell you something else, because you guys are gonna laugh at me for this. So, before we went over to the restaurant, I was on Twitter here at the house, and I started to read something that with Skittles. They were asking their followers to try to guess something about what they're doing for the Super Bowl. I thought, they're gonna release an online ad with a Super Bowl commercial with somebody. Turned out that wasn't the case. I got memed on by them responding, "That ain't it, Chief." I'm like, okay, I tried. And that's what I said to them yesterday. And then they responded back to me. I said, thanks. Because and whoever was running that account, they definitely should get a pay raise for that. To make me laugh, to got, attention, it just made me laugh. I'm pretty sure it might be, but as of today, I'm thinking it might be that they're probably gonna release a new Skittles. I'm not sure. So, unless it's I mean, I don't know what it is, but unless it's something like I had seen at my local Wawa, yes. And when I say that means it's a convenience store nearly almost the whole entire East Coast. The only thing is they do not hit they are not in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. They are in, or I should say, also not in New York. New York, and above all the way to Maine. That's including Connecticut, Rhode Island, that sort of stuff. So not the whole entire East Coast. They're mostly around Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, and Florida. So yeah. So you have to be here in the United States, in the East Coast, and those states I had just said, in order to get products. I don't know, and what I mean, so anyway, so as I was trying to say was, it might be that, I don't know, Unless they already probably talked about it, but I just saw in the Wawa, my local Wawa, that because I went to get lunch for today because I have to eat something. They had these Skittles, but they were yogurt flavor. I almost grabbed it, but I decided not to because because I was really kind of going crazy because I had to use the bathroom badly. God, grief. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, that was the case. Anyway, so back to about the entire situation with Skittles. So I have no idea what they're planning out on February 2nd and which is Super Bowl. Well, and it is what it is. Anyway, so I was laughing my butt off for that part. So because of that, and even though I screenshot it, posted on Instagram, I just laughing as possible. So anyway, so after that, my mother and I went to the restaurant. Now, if you guys are wondering, what about your brother, Lindsay? Oh yeah, my brother did came because my mother talked to him. So he came from work, which apparently he had somebody. He had to show off a new employee. He had to run the league because he had to join us for dinner, and thankfully he did. So anyway, so to be honest with you guys, to understand what I'm talking about, because understand, my mother's side of the family, she has a sister and she has two brothers. Anyway, so which of the brothers who she had to see? Well, it was the one who is now a reverend in Texas. Now, before you guys get angry at me, does my uncle have any anything? Is he against anything? No, I don't think he has, because despite he has been living in Texas, I don't think he has any kind of anger. All right, I know since I've seen things on TV, this is not, but my uncle is not like that, and believe me, he wouldn't do that in the restaurant because he knows that his parents, my grandparents, would know, because then they would be so mad at him, even though they're no longer with us. They will know. So probably something, but I don't think he would do that, and neither would my aunt, which is his wife, and his two young ones, which is the twins. And believe me, I don't think they have anger at each other. Angry. I mean, I know most of you guys are probably thinking about what happened yesterday. That's somebody was being so very, very, disrespectful and stuff, but that deals with music. But straightforward, I wanted to get back to me and my family, and I couldn't believe they didn't do anything wrong at all. So anyway, and the reason, and besides, the only thing we talked about is, well, what happened when what happened with my mother and my uncle were young when they were kids, and believe me, I will tell you this crazy funny little story. So if you guys didn't know, that's the only thing we talked about yesterday. Is we didn't talk about anything that would make me upset, or them upset, or my mother upset, or my brother upset. No, we just talked about family memories, mostly from my mother and my uncle. And the truth be told is that and of course sometimes my sometimes my cousin, then one of the twins, talked about things that would happen to her. I was like, oh, jeez. It was really nice, and just understand and what what's been going on. So anyway, so so apparently there is some crazy things that happening, and with my uncle, both of my uncles, I should say, when they were kids, because truth be told, when both of my uncles were boys, they were getting into a lot of trouble. They made mischievous things. They did they were up to no good in a way as kids, and once that happened, my grandmother would get mad at them. And for my mother, when my mother had just heard about what was going on, I mean, she did not interfere or anything. But I always remember my mother always said that what my grandmother had told my uncles when they got into trouble with when my uncles got in trouble with my grandmother, my grandmother said to them as boys, she said to them, "Wait until your father gets home." Oh, and the instant when my grandfather had come home from work, he started to he always yells at them. And my mother told me, she said, when she's known that my grandfather had came home, she made a mad dash to her room, did not want to hear what happened. I'm pretty sure my grandfather would yell at him and said, "I can't believe you made your mother so upset, so worried." Oh my god. I nearly wanted to laugh, but I know they were so much in trouble. They did things. I was like, oh boy, I can't believe that happened. I couldn't. I understand. This is just really silly. But the one thing my mother had, I remember from yesterday evening, was when my mother said about the time they all went to the shore, and my uncles had tried to scare that almost tried to scare my grandparents, my mother, and probably my aunt. And because what happened was, I think what happened was my uncle, well, one of my uncles were somehow had their head up, and the other one they were down, and I was like, what the? I'm like, was one of them trying to hurt the other? I'm like, nah, they were just trying to be bad, but they nearly almost scared all of them. But what happened was, it was just like, I think they were just trying to be, very, very bad, but, they don't mean any harm, but it was just so funny and crazy how things happen. But I think what happened was, one of them was down, the other one's up, and, until both of them popped up, and then, of course, there's my family nearly almost got mad at my uncle, but both of my uncles, but, back then, they were just kids, and, and they were doing a lot of crazy things and whatnot, but, I mean, they were boys. And I know in today's society, they would be more in trouble, but I don't think so. So, because, they were boys, and it was back then, and they were, they were little boys. And I think this was a different time. But it was really kind of funny. And of course, when my cousin chimed in, when the twins did, she said that she almost got drowned, by in a riptide. And what happened was, she was following her older brother, who's another cousin of mine, in the same family, to say. She was trying to get back to shore, and she said that even though she was stuck in the riptide, she didn't know what was going on. So she got tired, and then and what happened was, my aunt and my uncle did not know what was going on, and there's his lifeguard comes and he went to go rescue her, and I was like, what the. I was like, she was nearly passed out, and she was almost, because she nearly almost drowned. But she was just too tired, and she was hoping that her brother would come back and help her to get back to shore, but he didn't. So this lifeguard saves her. I'm like, good. And this happening in California. I was like, good. So anyway, so despite all this madness, it was just fun, laughter, old memories and stuff. Nothing that would make us all angry at each other, because that's how the way we are. I mean, we can't hate. We don't have any things that make us angry. Yeah, But yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys all understand. If you do, please hit that like button. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure notifications are definitely turned on. And yes, and as for gaming today, I'm not sure I'm going to be on YouTube. I mean, I'm going to try some other platforms, but but make sure to follow me on Twitter. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Till then, bye.